Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call while I was trying to tape part two, so I will continue reading where I left off about why passive men don't initiate sex, and we're on feelings of worthlessness. Now he feels even more worthless after sex stops happening. In his mind, even his partner doesn't want him. And when you finally get drunk or frustrated enough to give in and initiate, it only enables this process even more because now he's getting intermittent rewards. This is a psychological concept that explains why people love to gamble. We are wired to become more obsessed with occasional unexpected rewards than we are with consistent rewards. He has now unconsciously made you responsible for his entire self-worth. And he blames both of you for the lack of sexual activity. Yeah. And a final point, one I'm no expert on, is that men these days simply have less testosterone. Our diet and behavior are increasing estrogen levels, which exaggerates these issues. It's hard to feel like a man when you're flooded with female hormones. What can you do about it? So there you are with a man you love or on a date with an interesting guy yet suffering through a boring sex life. What can you do to help rediscover healthy masculinity? Firstly, try to understand what you're dealing with here, a frightened little boy. A man who has been brainwashed into thinking that women are the leaders in sex and that he should wait for full, outright, expressed permission before even considering sex. Here are my tips for reprogramming your man and helping him unleash his masculine, powerful sexuality. So as you see, this writer is laying the responsibility on the woman to reprogram the man because he has lost or hidden masculinity due to fear and other kinds of feelings of worthlessness and anxiety. This writer says, tell him what you want. The upside to these guys is that they are eager to please you sexually and get a massive thrill from your pleasure. Use this to your advantage. Give him explicit instructions on what to do physically and encourage him to surprise you. Okay, I'm not even going to keep reading the rest because basically what I call this is giving the man all the answers and basically telling him, I don't like the way you are, be like this. And I thought we weren't supposed to do that. I thought that we weren't supposed to tell men to change the way they are. It's like if a man wakes up and realizes that his passivity is not getting him anywhere and has some motivation to find his balls somewhere and take the initiative and be assertive for what he wants and then be able to accept the answer no if that's what the answer is. That's all I'm asking. And I don't feel that it's my job to teach a 50-year-old man that to do this at this point. It's like you either got it by now or you don't. And I'm finding that I am definitely not compatible with passive men. And I also find that passive men are the ones that people call the nice guys. Those will be the ones that treat you well, that do a lot of things for you. And it's basically a change from the narcissist or the alpha. But somehow I still think that I could find possibly, or that exists, an alpha that is just assertive, not aggressive, and that is not a narcissist. But I know that's probably asking for too much. So what I do find is these leftover, very quote, decent guys who are just extremely passive and want me to take the lead on everything. And it gets very tiring because for me it's unnatural to do so. I may be quite assertive, even aggressive myself when we talk about my job. You might call me bold. I've been called, even a ball buster when you're talking about work or maybe other things. But in a relationship, I really don't prefer to do that. I will stick up for myself, but I like being equal. I like having equal power with an equally assertive person, or even a more assertive person than I am. And so it's very dissatisfying, all the passive men that seem to be out there. And I think that's a reason why they are kind of left out there still single. It's not necessarily that they're unattractive or they don't have anything going for them, but they don't take the bull by the horns, and that's another problem. All right, well, thanks for listening to this Article 2, parts, 3 parts. I think there's one more article that I might read on passive men, but if not, thanks again for listening. This is my current frustration, and I thought I would go ahead and air it on YouTube without giving any kind of personal details. So, thanks for your comments. Have a great night.